Hi there guys, Ryath here from tabletopminis.com and welcome to another Age of Sigmar battle report. So today we're going to be playing a scenario out of the new book, The Quest for Ghal Maraz, so this should be really interesting, and let's show you the army. And here we've got the Skaven army, and that's led by a Skaven warlord. And then we have 20 clan rats behind him. And we have a pack master and 2 rat ogres. And then we have a warlock engineer, and we have a warpfire thrower team, and a poison wind mortar. And new to the Skaven army, we've got the warp lightning cannon. So that's a pretty cool model. It's huge, towering over the whole army. So that is the Skaven. And here we've got the Stormcast Eternals, and they're led by a Lord Castellant with his trusty Griffhound. And the Lord Relictor, and we have 3 Retributors with Champion, and we've got 2 units of 5 Liberators with Champions. And that is the Stormcast Eternals. So here's the battlefield. We're playing on a 6x4 swamp mat from Frontline Gaming here, and the scenario we're playing, or the battle plan, is called the Cursed City. So we're not playing on a sort of cityscape here, it's more a sort of swamp in Rotwater Blight. So we're going to use the rules for the Realm of Life on this mat. And we basically have an invader and we have an ambusher. And because the Skaven have a lot more models, more than a third more models than the Hammers of Sigmar, they have to be the ambusher, and the Hammers of Sigmar, they're the invader. So we've already rolled for see what the scenery is. We've got Sinister here for the Ruin. We've got Deadly for the rocky outcrop over there. We have a Damned Forest just here, and a Sinister Archway. We have a Deadly Forest in the middle. We have an Arcane Ruin here, an Inspiring Cottage, and we have a Mystical Forest at the back, and a Mystical Hill just over here. Inspiring wood here, and that's all the scenery. So we're going to get into deployment. So for setup, the invader can pick a table edge to set up on, and it'll be just like here. Basically the invader sets up in this kind of arc on one side, and then the ambusher has the whole rest of the territory. So I will pick, as a Hammer Sigmar, I'll pick this table edge. So we have the troops deployed, the armies deployed. And we have the invaders here, which are the Hammers of Sigmar, and they've had to deploy in a sort of semicircle here. And then we have the Skaven, which are 9 inches away from, at least 9 inches away from the Hammers of Sigmar. And well, they can deploy anywhere they like across the battlefield. So we have our unit of Liberators here. We have the Retributors and the Castellant here. We've got the Lord Relictor and another unit of Liberators here. And on the Skaven side, we have the Warlord and the Clan Rats just over here. And then we have the Rat Ogres, pretty much all the artillery, the Warpfire Cannon, the Poison Wind Globe, the Packmaster, and the Warp Lightning.
We've also got the Warlock Engineer in there.
Okay, and the Warlock Engineers over here. So the objective of this scenario is for the invader to destroy at least 3/4 of half of the Skaven army, which is 14 models. And if I can destroy 14 of the Skaven models, then at the end of that turn I automatically win a major victory. And for the Skaven, they have to destroy 3/4 of the Hammers of Sigmar. So I have 16 models, so he needs to destroy 12 of them. So it could be over quite quickly, so he needs to kill 12 of my guys. And some interesting mechanics with this scenario. There's a Monument of the Slain, which is placed by the ambusher, which is a Skaven. He's placed it over there, and any models who finish within, at the end of their hero phase, that's within 6 inches of it, they basically roll dice, and on a roll of a 1 you take D3 wounds, mortal wounds. But as the invader, we have something called True Vengeance. So if we're within 6 inches of that at the end of our hero phase, then we can attempt to reason with the dead, and if we do so, on a 4+, we basically get all of the dice from the main mechanic in this scenario, which is called Summon by Slaughter. And what that means is for every 5 models that die during every turn, so we roll a dice, and then if the result is equal to or less than the number of models in the enemy unit, then that unit takes a D3 mortal wounds, and that's meant to represent the spectral inhabitants exacting their revenge. So because we're in a like haunted swamp here, there's meant to be all these perils, so that should be quite cool. So it's first turn, it's the ambusher who decides to start. So
I'll go first.
So you're going to go first with the Skaven. So let's get into turn 1. So start turn 1 for the Skaven, and the warlord here is going to cast Inspiring Presence on the clan rats. So I think that's really important for them because they've got Bravery 4, so they do not take Battle Shock very well.
Not at all.
And next, the Warlock Engineer here, he's going to use his Warp Power Accumulator spell, and he's going to cast it on the Lord Relictor. So I don't have any wizards to dispel with that, and it's got a cast value of 5, so he makes it.
Goes off. So that's D6 mortal wounds.
So a D6 mortal wounds on the Relictor, which is 2, so he's down to 3 wounds. And next, the Packmaster is going to use his Herded into the Fray ability on the Rat Ogres, so it's a +1 to hit and
they can
charge.
Run and charge 1 extra.
Yeah, run and charge an extra inch as well. So that's the end of the hero phase, and there's nobody within 1 inch of any terrain, so there's no festering corruption. So movement, and now the warlord is going to move up 6 along with the clan rats and the Warlock Engineer. Warlock Engineer. And now the rat ogres are going to move up 6. So it looks like we're going to have some turn 1 combat here.
Gonna come up. Kind of.
Yeah, this scenario kind of puts us all together right at the start, doesn't it?
Up 6 inches as well.
Okay, and that is the Warpfire Thor. So into the shooting phase, and the Warlock Engineer here is going to shoot his Warplock pistol.
Yep, 1 attack.
So that's a 3+ to hit, which he makes,
4+
and
to
a
wound.
4+ to wound, which he doesn't, so nothing there. And next, the Warp Lightning Cannon, that is going to shoot at the Retributors just here. So we need to roll to see the 1 power dice to see what we need to roll over,
Ooh,
which is a 6. So he needs 6 attacks, but he needs 6s here to do mortal wounds. Whoa, so that's 2 mortal wounds. So
okay.
we have 1 of the Retributors is down to 1 wound. And next, the Warpfire Thor here is going to be shooting at the Retributors, and he's going to use his ability More Flaming Death.
Yeah.
So on a 2+, it'll do D6 mortal wounds instead of D3, but if he rolls a 1, then he takes a D3 mortal wounds himself. Okay. So let's see if it goes off, which it does. So
D6 mortal wounds.
Ooh, this could be nasty.
2
mortal wounds.
Okay.
So that is 1 Retributor dead, and 1 is down to 2 wounds. So just place this here. And next, the Poison Wind Globe weapons team. They're going to fire at Lord Castellan here. Yeah. So it's
1 attack.
1 attack hitting on 4s, which it does. Wounding on 4s, which it doesn't, and that's a good thing because it would have done D6 wounds otherwise. So
and -2 rend.
Yeah, -2 rend. So start the charge phase, and the Skaven warlord here is going to try and charge the Lord Relictor. So 7+ to make this charge, which it doesn't do. It's on a 6, so stays where he is. And the Skaven clan rats.
They need a 5.
Okay, so 5+ to make the charge here, which they do just.
Just make it.
And next, the rat ogres are going to charge the Retributors, so they need a 3+, which they make. So in they go. And now the Packmaster is going to try and charge the Retributors, so they need a 6, which he makes. And he goes. So start a combat, and the clan rats are going to pile in around the Relictor here. He's still on 3 wounds, so let's see if clan rats can do some damage. clan rats swarming around the relictor here. So we've got 9 clan rats here, and one of them is a champion, so that's 10 attacks. And because there's 20 or more models in the unit, they get a +1 to wound. So we're hitting here on 4s. So that is 4 hits, and wounding on 3s because of that bonus. So that is 3 wounds, and there's no rend on there.
So that's 3 plus saves.
3 plus saves. So all saved.
Wow.
So no damage there. So next, the retributors here are going to attack the rat ogres, and we have a prime. So that is 5 attacks, and we're hitting here on 3s. Any 6s, and that does instant 2 mortal wounds.
Okay.
So that is 3 of hit, and that's 2 mortal wounds straight away. And then the other 3 that hit, wounding on 3s. So that's 2 wounds with a -1 rend. So that's 6 plus save for the rat ogres. And that's one of them failed. So
that's
2 damage.
Plus because of the...
Yeah, 4 damage total.
So that's one of them dead.
Okay, 1 rat ogre is removed. And now the rat ogre is going to attack back. So that is 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. 2 hits, wounding on 3s. So that's 2 wounds. And
minus 1 rend.
-1 rend. So the retributors have a 4 plus save, so it's 5 plus. And they both make it, so no damage there from the rat ogre. So the relictor is going to attack the clan rats next. So he's got 4 attacks, and we are hitting here on 3s. That's 3 hits, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds and a -1 rend. Did they get any save?
Nope. That was a -1 rend.
So that is 2 of them dead. And now the packmaster here is going to attack the retributors. So that's 1 attack with his prod, shock prod. And it misses, so nothing there. So that's the end of the combat and the battle shock phase. The clan rats had inspiring presence, and the retributors, their bravery 7 anyway, so they took 1 casualty. That's 7, so they're fine as well. None of them flee. So end of the turn 1 for the Skaven, and we've had a total of 4 models slain. We've had 1 rat ogre, 1 retributor, and 2 clan rats. So not enough has been slain to use the rule summoned by slaughters, so there's no extra dice or damage there. So it's into turn 1 for the Hammer of Sigmar. So start the hero phase, and the Lord Castellan here, he's going to cast Inspiring Presence on these liberators here. And now the Lord Castellan, he's going to use his Warding Lantern on the rat ogre there. So what that does is it basically does 1 mortal wound because he's chaos. And if he had been demon, it would have been D3, but just 1 wound on the rat ogre, so down to 3 wounds. And next, the Lord Relictor here, he's going to try and heal up his wounds, so he's going to cast, or he's going to use his prayer of healing storm. So that's a 3 plus, and that goes off, and that's D3 wounds. So that's 3 wounds, so he's back up to his full 5 wounds. So I'll just take the counter off there. So into the movement, and these liberators are going to move up to within 3 inches of the Warpfire Thor here. And the Castellan's going to move around just to here. Get a charge on the Packmaster. And the Liberators here, they're just going to move around a little bit. Get ready for a charge on the Clan Rats. And that's the end of the movement. And there's no shooting here for the Hammer of Sigmar, so we're into the charge phase. And these Liberators are going to charge the Warpfire Thor, so we need 3 plus, which we make, so in they go. And the Lord Castellan's going to charge the Packmaster here, so we need a 3 as well, which he makes. So in he goes. And now the Gryph-hound's going to charge the Packmaster, so needing a 3. Oh. Ooh, and a double 1, Snake Eyes, so he stays where he is. And lastly, the Liberators over on this side are going to charge the Clan Rats, so we need a 3 here. Ooh, and we just make it, so in they go. So we'll start here with the Liberators, who are just going to pile in around the Warpfire Thor here. So our 5 Liberators here, we've got 11 attacks, hitting on 4s. That is Wow, what a roll. 3 hits. Wounding on 3s. That is 3 wounds with no rend, so that's a 6+ save for the Warpfire Thor.
Wow,
so it takes 3 wounds,
dead.
so it's dead. And next the Rat Ogre is going to attack the Retributors here, so 4 attacks hitting on 3s. 3 hits, wounding on 3s.
So got an extra, I got 6, which means I can get an extra attack.
Okay, an extra attack because of that 6.
3+, yeah, so
that's 3 wounds.
3 wounds.
And any rend on that?
-1 rend.
Okay, so that is a 5+ save. Wow,
Oh.
all saved. So no damage there. And next the Castellan's going to attack the Packmaster here. So we've got 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. 1 hit, wounding on 3s. 1 wound with a -1 rend.
Okay, and he normally has a 6+ save, so that's...
So no save there, and it does 2 damage, so he's down to 1 wound. And now the Packmaster is going to attack the Retributors here, so 4+ to hit. Which it doesn't do, so nothing there. And next, the Liberators are going to attack the Clan Rats. So we have 11 attacks here, and we are hitting on 4s. So that is 7 hits. We're wounding on 3s. So that is 5 wounds.
5 wounds, any rend?
No rend.
Okay, so 6+ save.
6+ save for the Clan Rats here. And that's 5 of them dead. Ooh. Not good. Because we only need to kill, how many is it? 12.
I need to kill 14 of your guys.
Yeah, and
no, you need to kill 14 of my guys, I need to kill 12 of your guys.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. So I need to kill 14, so like that's up to, I think, 9 now. And now the Clan Rats here are going to pile in. Try and maximize their attacks on the Liberators and the Lord Relictor. So we've got 10 attacks from the Clan Rats here on the Lord Relictor, and we're hitting on 4s. That is, what, 3?
Yeah.
Pretty bad roll there. And you're wounding on 4s as well. So that is 1 wound on the Lord Relictor, and there's no rend, is there?
Nope.
3+ save, which you make, so no damage there. Clan Rats, huh? And the rest of the Clan Rats here, the other 4 are going to attack the Liberators, so hitting on 4s. And none of them hit.
These Clan Rats, man. Seriously.
And now the Lord Relictor is going to attack back, so we've got 4 attacks here, and we're hitting on 3s. 3 hits, we're wounding on 3s. 2 wounds with a -1 rend, so that is 2 of them dead straight away.
Yep. So, that guy and this guy.
So into the Battle Shock phase, and the Clan Rats are immune because of Inspiring Presence, but we did have a Rat Ogre that died, so let's test for him. So it's a 4+1, so it's 5 in their Bravery. 5, so none of them flee. Okay, so end of turn, and because of the Summoned by Slaughter special rule from the scenario, we had 9 models that were slain, so we get 1 dice, and that's for me because it's my turn. And I can pick a unit, and then I roll a dice, and as long as my dice roll is less than the number of models in that unit, then that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. So I'm going to pick the Clan Rats, and that is a 2. So there's more than 2 models there. So they take a D3 mortal wounds, which is 2. So they take 2 mortal wounds. So that takes us to the end of battle round 1. And the victory conditions for this scenario, we need to count up the models that have been slain. If 3/4 of the invader, which is the Hammers Sigmar, have been destroyed, then it's a major victory for the Skaven. And if half the Skaven has been destroyed, it's a major victory for the Hammers Sigmar. So we need 14 models slain. And I think we have 13, yeah. So they've just made it into turn 2.
Just. And
on the Hammers Sigmar side, we've just took 1 model. So we are into battle round 2. So let's see who starts battle round 2. So that's 3 for the Hammers, and you want to roll it again? 6 for the Skaven. So Skaven to go first. Yep. So into the Skaven hero phase, and the Warlock Engineer is going to cast Warp Lightning on the Liberators here. So he's going to use his Warp Accumulators. So there's a 5+ to go off, which it does, and that's a D6 mortal wounds, which is 5. So
2 dead.
That is 2 dead and 1 down to 1 wound. It's quite nasty. He's on 1 wound. And now the Skaven Warlord's going to use Gnash Gnaw on his bones, on himself, which gives him an extra attack. And now the Packmaster is going to use Herded into the Fray on the Rat Ogre. So into movement, and the Skaven Warlord is going to move up just within 3 of the Liberators. So we're into shooting, and the Warp Lightning Cannon, that's going to shoot at the Liberators here. So let's see what the power dice is. And it's a 3, so that's 6 attacks, and you need a 3+ to do a mortal wound. Wow, so that is 6 wounds, so that's 3 of them dead. And next the Poison Wind weapons team is going to shoot at the Retributors here, so that is a 4+ to hit, which it doesn't make. And now the Warplock pistol from the Warlock Engineer here is going to shoot the Liberators, so it's 3+ to hit, which it does, and a 4+ to wound, which it also does, so that's a D3 damage.
Yeah, so -1 rend. What's
okay.
the Liberator's save?
The Liberator's save is
4+,
4+,
so
yeah.
5+.
5+ save, which it doesn't make.
So D3 damage. 1.
That is 1 damage.
So 1 dead.
So 1 of them is dead. So we're into the charge phase, and the Warlord here is going to charge the Liberators, so a 3+ to get into combat. Which he makes, so in he goes. And now the Warlock Engineer needs a 3. Wow, and he makes it, so he's in there as well. So into the combat phase, and we're going to start here with the Rat Ogre attacking the Retributors, so that is 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. All 4 hit, wounding on 3s. Wow, all 4 wound.
So
any rend?
So -1 rend, so that's 5.
5+ save?
Yeah.
So that is 2 wounds.
So that's 4 damage, so he's...
Oh, it's 4 damage,
yeah.
It's 2 damage per...
Yeah.
So he's dead, and he is down, the prime is down to 1 wound. And now I'm going to attack with the Liberators on the Clan Rats, so that's 5 attacks, and we're hitting here on 4s. That's 3 hits, wounding on 3s. 2 wounds, and no rend, so 6+ save. Oh!
Wow, double 6!
Clan Rats are, you know, they've really been sort of...
wow, it's surprising me now, like, that's for sure.
Okay. And now the Warlord is going to attack the Liberators here, so that is 3 attacks.
With his War Halberd.
With the War Halberd.
3s to hit.
So all hit on 3s.
3s to wound.
Yep, 3s to wound here, so 1 wound.
1 wound, -1 rend.
So that's a 5+ save.
Yeah.
Which I don't make, so one of them is down to 1 wound. Yeah. And now the Barbed Blade, so that is 5 attacks, and we're hitting on 3s here. All hit, wounding on 4s. So that's 2 wounds. Any rends?
There is no rend.
So that's a 4+ save. And that's 1 more wound, so that's one more dead. And now the Lord Relictor is going to attack the Clan Rats, so we've got 4 attacks here, and we're hitting on 3s. And wounding on 3s. 2 wounds and a -1 rend.
Okay, so 2 dead.
So 2 dead, and I think that takes the casualty toll above the victory condition. So if you don't take out 12 of my guys this turn, I actually win the game at the end of the battle round.
Best I can hope for now is a draw.
Yeah,
really.
so yeah, getting a draw is the kind of best that Skaven can get here. And now the Clan Rats are going to attack the Relictor, so that is 8 attacks, hitting on 4s. So that's 5 hits, wounding on 4s. So that is 2 wounds and 3+ save. So
no rend.
No rend, and that's 1 wound on the Relictor, so he's down to 4 wounds. And now the Lord Castellan is going to attack the Packmaster. So we've got 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s, and that is -1 rend.
Okay.
So any save? So no save there, and 2 damage, so the Packmaster is dead. And now the Warlock Engineer is going to pile in on the Liberator here. And he has got 1 attack, hitting on 3s. So it hits, wounding on 4s, which it doesn't, so nothing there. Now the Retributor is going to attack the Rat Ogre here, so that is 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. 1 hit, wounding on 3s. And nothing there. And finally, the Liberators here, they're going to pile in. Piling in here, so we have 5 attacks, and we are hitting on 4s. That is 2 hits, And we are wounding on 3s. 2 wounds, so that's a 5+ save for them 2 wounds, which don't make. So
he's down to 1 wound.
Yep, down to 1 wound, the Rat Ogre. And we forgot about the gnashing on his bones for the Warlord here, so he gets an extra melee attack for every weapon. So we'll start with his halberd, so 3 to hit, wounding on 3s.
Didn't do anything.
Nope.
And now for his barbed blade, that's
okay, the barbed blade, 3 to hit. Nope, no, so nothing extra there. So Battle Shock phase, and my Retributors took 1 damage, or 1 guy died, so they're bravery 7 anyway, so none of them flee. Now Battle Shock for the Clan Rats, so 2 of their guys died, and rolled a 2, so and the bravery 4 for, so actually none of them flee for once.
Wow.
And Battle Shock for the Liberators here, and we have a 4 plus a bravery, or sorry, we had 4 flee, so he flees. So into the end of turn, and because we've had 11 guys die, that's 2 dice, so we take 1 each. And this is a scenario special rule. We pick a unit, and I'm going to pick the Clan Rats, and then I roll dice. 4, and because there's more than 4 models in that unit, they take a D3 mortal wounds, so they take 2 wounds, so 2 of them are dead. And Skaven have chose to use it on the Liberators, so that is, we need to roll dice. 4, so there's less models in the unit than that roll, so it doesn't do anything. So that summoned by the Slaughter has been resolved, so we're into turn 2 for the Hammers of Sigmar. So we'll start the hero phase by casting Warding Lantern. It's a prayer on the Rat Ogre here, which it does 1 wound to, 1 mortal wound, so he's dead. And I'll cast Inspiring Presence on the Liberators here. And now the Lord Relictor is going to Lightning Storm these Clan Rats. So a 3+, it does D3 wounds, which it does. And that is 1 mortal wound, so it's 1 Clan Rat's dead. And into the movement, and my Lord Relictor, he's just going to retreat. I'll just move him over here, just get him more than 3 inches away from the enemy so that nobody can get killed in the combat phase. So because I've had 10 casualties already as Hammer Sigmar, and that's not enough for the Skaven to trigger the victory condition, I'm not actually going to do any charges or any combat because I don't want summon from the Slaughter or anything like that to allow the Skaven to kill my guys. So I'm just basically I just want to get through this turn quickly. So I've moved away and I don't have any shooting, I don't have any charging. And there's no Battle Shock because there's been no damage. So it's the end of Battle Round 2, and the victory conditions for this, I needed to kill half of the Skaven army, and we've killed 20 models, and we needed 14, right? Yeah. So the Hammers of Sigmar actually get a victory here, so into the post-match. So into the post-match, and wow, that was a bit of a quick game. Over in turn 2. Yeah. I guess the scenario is meant to be quite a quick one where you're kind of...
It's quite a bizarre scenario. I've never, played something like that before.
Yeah, it's a little strange. You can start within 9 inches of the enemy. So you're pretty much turn 1 charge is guaranteed.
Yeah.
And things like that Monument of the Slain, we placed it, but we never really got to use it. And because as the ambusher, you are deciding where that goes.
Yeah.
I guess maybe if you're playing like a defensive game where you're sort of...
I think that's what I shouldn't have charged all my Clan Rats in there like that.
Yeah.
I should have held back a bit and let my artillery
I think we fudged the deployment there completely because I don't think we should have gotten to combat first turn. I think if you had held back...
I would have been able to do more damage with my artillery.
If you had used the monument to kind of maybe give you some, like a barrier between you, then I think that might have gone a bit
Warp Lightning Cannon did do a lot of damage. I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah, that thing's a beast. But it's the same with all the Skaven, with all the artillery does, like, and the weapons teams. Yep, the mortal wounds are pretty dangerous. I think you got very close to a draw there.
Yeah, at the end I was hoping to get a draw, but the Hammers of Sigmar, they ran away from the Skaven. What can I say?
The problem is like Clan Rats, they die so easy, and in this scenario, this particular scenario, where it's all about just killing a certain number of models, I think you would have been much better served if you just hid the Clan Rats
as far back as possible.
Almost
and just
pulled out that draw, but not quite.
Yeah,
Not
and
quite.
just, you know, shot them. But anyway, I hope...
Quite a fun little scenario, that.
Yeah, it was quite fun, quite quick. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll give you a look at some of the scenarios from the new book. That's the first of them, and we've got many more to come. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and if you'd like to subscribe or comment, that's great. And we've got a Patreon campaign. If you'd like to support us to help us continue making these videos, the details are below. So thanks for watching, guys, and see you next time.
Thanks, see ya.